If I read you some of the texts I'm getting just from random people, I've got 26 texts in the last minute, just everybody lashing out on the Nuggets and the way that game ended today. And I'm sure those of you watching, first of all, thank you for watching the postgame show here on Altitude. I don't know where to start and I don't know where to go. All I know is this. I can't remember the last time I've been this disappointed in this basketball team.
So I think it's just an interesting thing here. 96 points for the Denver Nuggets in this game. And this was the very best offense in the NBA over the course of the regular season. And Minnesota's stopping them every single game. And it's just, it's looking, I don't know where the offense, there's a lot of reasons for the offense not being what it is, what it has been for the vast majority of this season. But it really is the story of this series. The two best units were the Nuggets offense and the Minnesota Timberwolves defense. Well, the Timberwolves defense is winning right now, and it's winning by a lot. And until the Nuggets can solve how to score the basketball in this series, then it might be short.
Yeah, Vic, you say disappointing. I think in my 21 years of watching Nuggets basketball, this was one of the most frustrating games I've ever watched. Now, obviously, we're not calling the game. We're sitting in the green room.
Makes it worse.
And it does make it worse because, you know, obviously we're pulling for the Denver Nuggets, and we want the Nuggets to win. But the energy and the execution and the plays they could have had back and the missed easy shots and the layups, it was all just too much. And you have to give Minnesota credit. They played great. Ayo Dosunmu was fantastic. But that was a game the Nuggets could have won.
Yeah.
I mean, they got two guys go out that are injured, but they just ramped it up. And when they ramped it up, the Nuggets couldn't hang.
Yeah. As you're watching that game unfold, and we'll get to the highlights here in a moment, you're seeing two key players, Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo, go out with what looked to be devastating injuries. One is for sure. Can't help but think, wow, this series is going to take a turn. It never turned. It stayed right down that Minnesota highway, and they win again the same fashion they won the last two before it.
I'm not sure the injuries help the Denver Nuggets. Usually you'd think if two great players go out, that's going to help the other team. But it seemed to kind of energize the Minnesota Timberwolves, and their reserves and their extra guys came in and played great.
Yeah, correct. And look, Ayo Dosunmu did his Anthony Edwards impression. Like, I mean, he put 43 on the board. And so if you're usually in these cases, when you have players like that going out, you have a lack of something, a lack of point production, a lack of shot making, a lack of play making. That never happened because Ayo just assumed those roles. And if that was going to happen, now the teams are back even up from a, we're going to produce anyway standpoint. So how do the Nuggets see their way through? They had to swallow a bitter pill today.
Well, let's show you how it all went down. Our Toyota game recap, and an awful start for Minnesota. When I say awful, I mean this. Watch Dante DiVincenzo. Ooh, he goes down. He goes down. He can't get up. He's calling for help now. This ain't just a twisted ankle. It's bigger than that. And when we saw the replay, we knew exactly what it was. They confirmed it later, guys. Torn Achilles from their starting two guard. Just done 90 seconds into this game.
And he had played so well, too, for them. So well. Shocking to see.
90 seconds in, he's gone, and Joker says, okay, I'm going to do something tonight. First shot of the game in Rudy's grill. A little later, Joker relentless on the boards. Tip drill. He had 10 points in the first quarter, but then they stopped going inside.
Yeah, he was very aggressive. They looked for him. Look, he needed more help, but this was a really nice play that they run kind of a lot there. Tim Hardaway, 2 of his 10 points.
Nuggets playing some defense. AG playing with that calf injury. Still blocks Anthony Edwards, gets it the other way for a Jamal layup. Again, the defense, even from a one-legged Aaron Gordon. Then watch this. Rudy thinks he has a dunk. Oh, no, you don't.
Jamal Murray said no.
That was a great play.
That was a great block.
Leads to another easy Denver bucket, and the Nuggets are suddenly up. They keep coming. Cam Johnson finishes the play, but watch what happens to Anthony Edwards there. Comes down and hyperextends the left knee, would leave and not return. Lucky for Minnesota, they have Ayo Dosunmu. He carried them in this game. 16 in the first half. Nuggets with a 4-point lead at the half. Let's go to the third quarter. Minnesota -2 starters, but they still have Ayo
Ayo was just killing him all night long. He didn't miss a three, did he?
Then the Nuggets get sloppy. He was 5 of 5 from 3. The sloppiness, my goodness. 1 turnover in the first half, and then 7, 8 of them in the second half. Turnover after turnover. They go up by 4. Here's another turnover.
Yeah, the trap on the ball screen right there. They're able to get it obviously away from Jamal Murray, and Dosunmu cashes it in.
Minnesota built a 13-point lead. The Nuggets would cut it to 7 at one point, but Ayo says, nah. He had 43 points. At the end of the game here, guys. Yeah. So Jaden McDaniels takes a concession bucket. Usually you don't shoot with the clock winding down. Joker didn't like it. Joker likes to play by the rules, the gentleman's rules there. He gets right in his face, and benches get a little ornery. Joker ejected from the game along with Julius Randle. So the most energy that the Nuggets displayed happened there in the final seconds of the game.
Yeah, you know, look, it's been a frustrating situation for everybody involved. And, you know, one of the biggest agitators in this series has been Jaden McDaniels. And there was no doubt in my mind when I saw them throw that down to him. I knew he was going to take a shot at the end. What I didn't know is how upset that would make Nikola Jokic. But I think it's a bubbling over of McDaniels talking smack. The Nuggets can't perform. And then you have this little incident that is, you know, this unwritten rules of basketball. They're happening, and Jokic took it.
Yeah, I don't like the unwritten rules of any sport. I'm sorry. I'm on the other side of this. I think it was inappropriate of Nikola Jokic to go after McDaniels. You're going to run 60 feet in a game. You're getting humbled. I don't know. I just don't think he should do it. I don't think it was a good look. I know there are unwritten rules, but I'm not for them. I don't care about that.
McDaniels was the same guy at Game 7 2 years ago who tried that fancy dunk.
Yeah, but this was just a long pass. He laid it up and in.
Maybe they're tired of Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, I think that's.
So what's the consequence? You're going to get thrown out of the game. You might be suspended.
Marlo, you've seen
go
enough,
down there.
Marlo, you've seen enough basketball games. The game was won. You don't shoot that basket.
Who says? Who says? Vic Lombardi?
How many times?
Chris Dempsey?
How long have you watched basketball?
For 50 years.
So what happens at the end of games like that?
Sometimes they dribble it out. Some guy goes in, gets a dunk. Some guys make a layup.
And they go in and get a dunk. What happens then?
Everybody goes, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to take that."
This isn't breaking news here, Chris.
I'm just telling you, the unwritten rules are the reason they call them unwritten rules because they're not rules. You can do whatever you want.
Sure.
He didn't spin. He didn't do a 360. He didn't showboat. He just laid it in and went over to the bench.
I see your side as well.
Well, you're not seeing it very clearly.
Because you know what? If the Nuggets are mad about that, do something about it.
Well,
do something about stopping Jaden McDaniels maybe earlier in the game.
But at the end of the game with 1.3 remaining, I
actually think that both things are true here. One, it's an unwritten rule that he's frustrating the Nuggets for sure with his play and with his mouth.
Absolutely.
And then, but at the same time, you could say, well, maybe Joker shouldn't have reacted that way. All these things I think in the same bucket are actually true here.
So if it had been Mike Conley doing that,
he would never do it. He would never do it.
Say he did. Would you be okay with that?
First of all,
or not?
You know as well as I do.
Mike Conley would never take that shot. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Mike Conley plays with professionals in class.
How about if Nas Reed do that? Was it just because it was McDaniels?
McDaniel's a big reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of is.
So we go after McDaniels with 1.3 seconds remaining in the game. That's the answer to all the dialogue.
Marlo, I love you. If you did that in a pickup game or in a game that I'd come down the court and do the same thing to you.
I'd brush you off like a
know me better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and he would deserve it, right?
No,
but also, you know what he wouldn't do?
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do it because he knows.
Because he knows.
No, I'd be winning. Because
it doesn't matter. The Nuggets are down. They're facing elimination. It's going to require a massive rally. Edwards goes down. Dante DiVincenzo goes down. They bring in Ayo Dosunmu, who had a great Game 3, only to top it with a phenomenal career Game 4. 43 points on 13 of 17. And a perfect 5 for 5 from downtown. The dude was a machine. He mowed the Nuggets down tonight. He did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. How, fellas?
Yeah, I mean, the last two games, the way they've deployed him, it's funny because he had 14 points in the first game, 9 points in the second game. But then in that third game, when they figured out that, well, wait, he can just get to the rim almost anytime he wants to get there, okay, well, now we're just going to let him do that thing. And then today, because the Nuggets were so antennas up on his driving ability, opened up those things, those three-point shooting. And he's always been known as a really good standstill three-point shooter, catch-and-shoot guy, but he was able to do it off the dribble any way possible. Like, Marlo, at the beginning of this series, he was one of my X-Factor players.
Yeah.
I mean, because
you touted him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good player. 43 points, I didn't think he was doing that in any game. But his ability to be able to put speed on the court, to the rim, put speed on the court defensively, I thought would be very helpful to them, and obviously he just stepped all the way up for him.
I was just looking at the bench points tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, Vic said it, 43 points. 76 to 16. I know there were injuries, but their bench just put the Nuggets bench to sleep.
Well, maybe the Nuggets should have played more of their players. They only played an 8-man rotation.
Well, that's true. Only 16 points, and Hardaway, the others, Bruce Brown had 6. Yeah.
But they limited it to a 6-man rotation while Minnesota went with more players.
Well, look, the Nuggets have an Ayo problem. They really do. I mean, they're trying a lot of things defensively that he is rendering nearly almost meaningless. And if you can't get him under any type of control in the next game, it's going to be a very, very difficult for you to win that one too. Look, I mean, there's a lot of answers that the Nuggets have to come out with here, but this is a player who is playing at the peak of his power right now, at the peak of his confidence, and you have to find some way to get him off of those things.
He wasn't even top 5 or 6 on the list of Nuggets problems coming into this series.
I know.
There are a lot of problems.
I mean,
going
this is
on.
unreal what's developed in this series between these two teams. All right, let's go back to the Target Center. Our Advent Health coach's comments. What does David Adelman make of that?
The last 3 games, it doesn't seem like it to me. Do you think your group's
Yeah,
has
I do.
that
I thought we were very
competitive
competitive tonight. And again, I think it's hilarious that the narrative is offense doesn't matter. You shoot 24% in the second half. It's hard to win. I thought our guys played their ass off throughout that first half. I thought they maintained a physicality about them. You give those guys credit. I mean, 2 guys off their bench had 60 points combined. I don't think that's from competitive spirit issues. That's 2 guys having a great night and us having a really tough second half offensively. The 9 turnovers for 13 points at 24%. That's not a competitive thing. That's just having a really tough second half offensively with a chance to break the game open in the third quarter. That's how I saw it.
Just as far as the games, it does feel like a lot of these games between you two there is a lot of emotional capital involved in them. Jamal felt like the offense was kind of sped up by the emotions in game 3. Do you feel like you guys were able to at least kind of control that and get to what you wanted as this game kind of got out of control, or did the emotions kind of take over a little bit?
No, I mean, our 2 best players are 6 for 24 in the second half. I would say the majority of those shots